Brad Holmes showing out again.
Man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember leading into last year's draft, there was some news of us re-signing some of our guys, dishing out some money, and it became some of the talk of that NFL draft cycle. And now, this NFL draft cycle, he goes out and makes a historic signing of one Kerby Joseph, man.
Super.
I'm sorry. The safety, Kerby Joseph, man.
Best safety in the league right now.
Hey, and when you say historic, it absolutely is
Talk
historic.
to him about it,
and that isn't even a exaggeration at all. And yes, I will read the terms. I'll read the terms. We'll go to break, and then we'll talk about it. The Detroit Lions and All-Pro safety Kerby Joseph reached an agreement on a massive new extension to make him the highest paid safety in NFL history. Sources say he gets a 4-year, $86 million a year deal that is $21.5 million per year.
We all pondered this early on, saying they can't. It's going to be tough for them to keep everybody. This thing could get very, very expensive. But Kerby Joseph was one of those players that all of us said, but you really want him here on his Detroit Lions because he was a game changer, a game breaker, and took away touchdown after touchdown away from teams in their own red zone. So I'm happy that they did get this deal done, and it is awesome that they get to take a little bit of this shine, just a little bit of shine, while NFL Draft Day is getting going. 4 years, $86 million contract for Kerby Joseph. Flannel Sam, how you feeling about it?
JB, do you mind putting that up one more time so we can remind the people of the historic deal that was just signed? The Detroit Lions and All-Pro safety Kerby Joseph reached an agreement on a massive new extension to make him the highest paid safety in NFL history, sources say. He gets a 4-year, $86 million deal, $21.5 million per year. And by the way, that makes him the highest paid safety in NFL history. So absolutely historic. And when it comes to Kerby Joseph, there's no two ways to say it. He earned his money. He was honestly, even though I've always said one of the best ball hawks in the NFL his first couple of seasons, if they gave away most improved in the NFL, Kerby Joseph, the leap from year 2 to year 3, he might have won that award. The improvement was vast. And JB, I sent a list of accolades that Kerby Joseph has had, both in his career and last year, that really hit home just how important and how great of a player that Kerby Joseph was. Kerby Joseph, just accolades. Most interceptions in the NFL over the last 3 seasons. That, of course, is his rookie year, his second year, and his third year. He has 17 combined in those 3 years. The next highest has 14. He had the most interceptions in the NFL in 2024 with 9. He was the number 1 PFF graded safety in the NFL in 2024. He was first team All-Pro in 2024, and he finished 6th in Defensive Player of the Year voting in 2024, the highest finishing safety on that list. And just for context, even though 6th does seem a little bit low to me, it's still a heck of an accomplishment because safeties usually don't factor that heavy into Defensive Player of the Year voting, at least not as high as 6th. And I'll tell you what, I know some people want to talk about how, oh, does this mean we can't keep so-and-so? Does this mean we can't keep Branch? Yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna choose to enjoy this one, honestly, right now, because Kerby Joseph, what am I gonna say? That he didn't earn that money, that he didn't play like the best safety in the NFL last year? And what makes me more comfortable about this, I still think Branch is the better overall player and will be better moving forward, although you might be able to keep both. I suspect they probably will. But what Kerby Joseph has shown you during his 3 years in the NFL is that his floor is just a guy who can take the football away. His ceiling is best safety in the NFL. I don't think there's any chance, barring injury, of course, that this turns out to be a contract that's not worth it. Kerby Joseph earned his money, and I think that he is going to continue to earn his money in the next 4 years, or actually 5 years, because he's still, the extension doesn't kick in until after this one. So shout out Kerby Joseph. You earned your money. What a season he had. What a player he is.
Hey, definitely shout out to Kerby Joseph. And I'm glad to see Brad Holmes strike again as it relates to paying his guys, taking care of his own, and taking care of some of the ones that have played some of the most important roles in the success that the Lions have had. And we want them to punch that ticket as relates to the Super Bowl, but to this point, a couple division titles, and knowing that he has been effectively, like, directly. There are plays we remember, games that were important to us getting that division title that Kerby Joseph was the man in. And what I love is just how about the city is. Seeing him out and about at Pistons games and things, seeing him out and about at the Tigers games. Shout out to Nick as well, who got the content with Kerby Joseph the other day. And you could tell these guys are really loving their time in Detroit. Winning helps a whole lot. But all the hype and all that we talked about in the beginning and how the fans have completely bought in to what our teams are doing right now, that makes a big difference too. And that's where, for everything we know he's going to do on the field, when you see these guys get these types of deals, of course, it's because you want to go out there and win it all with that player, but it's also about who this person has shown themselves to be as it relates to identifying with the community, which is what Dan Campbell and JB Bickerstaff and these guys say. These are the identity of the players we want. And so when you see him go out there and he's leading the NFL in interceptions, he's dusting off all of the different narratives because everybody, oh, he's dirty, he's this, he's that. He doesn't care. He really just doesn't care. And that's what I love, man. The way that he goes out there every single game. And when Kraft Macaroni and Cheese wanted to talk, you know, when they weren't face to face, but then when they get on the field,
I see what you did there.
Kerby is like, "What's good, brother?" And then all of a sudden, nobody's talking. I'm like, I'm glad we got that on our side. And for all of the haters out there, where are the flags? Where are the fines? That man is playing just good freaking football, and he's making the rest of the league cry about it. That's what I want on my squad.
Good, clean, ethical football. And shout out to Nick in the chat. He's under the Tailgate Wins, if you guys didn't know that. Yes, great day for Detroit sports. Going to have some insane coverage for everyone all night long. Make sure to tap into the streams and socials for all the coverage. And Nick Koloff is going to be a big part of that. There's no better person in the city at doing man on the street content than Nick. It was like he was born to do that. Shout out Nick Koloff. But I also throw up that stat that Easy actually posted, and then it got posted to Woodward, our socials. JB,
hey,
if
Nick,
you would,
keep crushing, bro. I just gotta piggyback.
Absolutely. This is a power stat. Shout out Easy. The fact that you got to it before I did makes me a little bit jealous, but you know what? Game recognized game. Kerby Joseph and Ed Reed are the only players with 225 plus tackles and 15 plus interceptions in their first 3 seasons. That's insane company to keep. And I'm not saying that Kerby was Ed Reed when he came into the league, but he was Ed Reed last year. He absolutely was Ed Reed last year, both with just being a great safety, with taking the football away, having the knack for the big plays and making big time plays in big games. Because speaking of that, and I know that I've beaten this point to death, but now that he's signed here, I can remind you again. I don't believe you win the opening night game against the Rams without Kerby Joseph making that interception before halftime when the Rams were trying to tie the game. I don't think you win the game at San Francisco without Kerby. And I understand that at the time it became somewhat meaningless, but the Lions obviously wanted to win. And for a large part of the beginning of the game, actually the whole of the beginning of the game, the 49ers were driving up and down the field getting whatever they wanted. But what really flipped the game, what really stopped the 49ers' momentum? Kerby Joseph's first pick, and then, of course, he got another one. And you can also argue that you don't win the game at Green Bay without Kerby Joseph getting that huge pick 6 off of that screen pass, which really was the backbreaker for the Packers, which gave the Lions a 17-3 lead. And maybe you don't even win the Arizona Cardinals game without him, because with when the Cardinals were down 20-10, Kyler Murray attempts a deep ball into the end zone, kind of a Hail Mary, not a very smart throw, but Kerby goes and intercepts it. And one of the common themes of 3 of those games, you talk about the first Rams game, you talk about the Packer game, and you talk about the Cardinal game. For whatever reason, those were probably the 3 games out of the year, besides, of course, for the Tampa game, which the Lions lost, where the offense struggled a bit. And it was Kerby Joseph who really picked the offense up and who picked the whole team up. So Kerby Joseph was the man last year. He earned his money, and he played as big of a hand as anybody on the team and in the organization, and why the Lions got 15 wins and won a division title.
And what a dunk off the lob, too, man, because that's exactly what I was saying. We all know the plays. Or we can all think of, if Kerby Joseph didn't do this, we don't win this game. And that, to me, is what makes this deal so special, is that we were all wondering, what is Brad Holmes going to do? And you know what? He stayed true to form. He said, you know what? This guy is integral to what we do as it relates to winning and who we are as our identity out there on the field. You know how I know it? Because the league is talking about it. When you talk about guys like Alexander Zaloni, when you talk about guys like Kerby Joseph, the league is talking about those people. And that's what I love. All of the narratives, all of the noise, all of the media people who we heard talking against him, because we know how the media sways. Shout out to the legend Rod Beard, who's told us about it. For Kerby Joseph to reach the attainments he did means that he burst through all of those things and proved to be somebody who I don't believe is going to get the money and regress. This guy has only been a dog, because I've seen a couple people on here in the chat kind of make that notion. Kerby Joseph has only shown himself to be a dog, period. And that, to me, is why you go out and you pay these guys. And Brad Holmes' assessment so far, dishing out these contracts, has it been wrong yet?
No, not yet.
Not at all.
Yet.
We saw Jared Goff get the contract, and it was top 5 in MVP voting. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, and that's where Jared Goff is going to take that next step forward.
Sure.
But with a Kerby Joseph, I'm really hoping that as they go into this draft, they do a little bit more on that defensive line, because think about how much better and how much more of a threat that makes Kerby Joseph in the red zone.
Oh, yeah. If you've got pressure on your quarterback, if you got Aiden Hutchinson and maybe James Pierce, kind of bearing down on you, probably not, but a man can dream. and a quarterback like a Jordan Love, for example, just has to get rid of the ball before he wants, maybe throw it into the middle of the field, into the danger zone. It's the danger zone, obviously, because you never want to do that as a quarterback, but Kerby makes it even more of the danger zone because he is the best ball hawk in the NFL right now. KG, how are you feeling about the Kerby Joseph extension?
I mean, how can you feel anything other than happy for the man? I mean, he's been one of the best safeties in this league, arguably the best safety in the league right now. He's gotten better each and every single year. And, for all my people that's, how can you pay a safety that much money? Listen, he's only making $500,000 more than Antoine Winfield Jr. per year. So I think he's earned this money. And it's a culmination of what the Lions believe in. If you come in here, you perform, we're going to take care of you, we're going to pay you. And Sam, you echoed my sentiments perfectly. As fans, we need to stop as far as we can't sign this guy, we can't sign this guy, we can't sign this guy. Let's just enjoy the ride right now. A man that has contributed to a lot of Lions victories has just gotten paid. And I think that should be the bigger story, other than, we can't pay so-and-so now. Brian Branch, what we gonna do with him? Like, relax, man. Let's just chill. Let's enjoy the moment. Shout out to Zuper, man. He went out there and earned that bag, bro. And the man is so good that they had to create a dirty narrative about him.
And shout out to Kerby too for honestly being one of those supporters of the network. You guys see him, he'll retweet things.
Oh yeah.
He'll share things. He will like posts. He will comment. He sees us at these different events and gives us his time. It was crazy, bro. We saw him at the Pistons game. He said thank you. He said, man, thank you guys, man, for what y'all do, man. Y'all be getting me from all over the place. And we're like, look, like Kerby Joseph in terms of like pictures and social media posts and tagging him and such. And I said, Kerby, is really because of how you've gone out there and not just balled on the field, but who you've tried to identify yourself and identify with the fans. This is what connects you, and this is what's always been that recipe. And I know for a guy like Flannel Sam, it is one that's probably one that you champion because it's different than the role players that we generally would get attached to. This one is this one is one where everybody in unison is like, yo, we got another star. And when I just kind of sit and I think about it and I take a step back, I don't remember another time where we were, across our different sports teams getting stars and like, hey, Cunningham's max contract sets in next year, and this guy right now is proving he's that guy, and Detroit has that guy, and now Kerby Joseph and the Lions have a couple of those guys that you've locked into big deals, and Detroit, from an athlete standpoint, is buzzing. I believe it's going to get so much harder over the next 2 to 3 years to decide what's that Detroit sports Mount Rushmore.
Shit.
It's gonna get tough.
That's you know what? That would be a great topic for if there's a slow day in July or something like that, because that is a legitimate question right now. Who's on it? I think that we would all have somewhat different responses to it. But Chase, I want to hear from you because Kerby Joseph extension, highest paid safety in the NFL. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean he's earned it. He's definitely went out there and over the his time on the Lions been productive, and like most comparable player to him has been Ed Reed. So I think if he can continue to play at that same level, produce turnovers, like roughly, like close to the same rate. Even if he doesn't, and he's still like just hitting the ball away, just like playing tight defense and just being a sure tackler. I'm totally fine with that. I think he's a really good player. He fits the culture of this team, and he's one of like the first. I think he was one of the first guys who helped really like flip the script, and was one of the first like Brad and Dan guys that we saw like help shape the mold of what this team is.
Yeah, and another thing about Kerby Joseph too, that was very well said, Chase, is that when you talk about best picks that Brad Holmes has ever made, and I understand getting Hutch and Gibbs and shoot, I'm forgetting a lot of the, but Hutch and Gibbs were Penei Sewell in the first round is spectacular, amazing. But the fact that he was able to get Kerby Joseph in the third and Amon-Ra St. Brown in the fourth, two all-pro players right there, that is just shout out Brad Holmes, great job. And Kerby Joseph, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I ever saw first-team All-Pro, but he proved me wrong this year. JB Smoove, you all in on the Kerby Joseph being the highest-paid safety in the NFL?
Oh, 100%. I mean, obviously, we all kind of knew this day was coming. It's just depending on when, and obviously do it the day before draft day. So Brad Holmes is putting it all out on the table, showing you right ahead of the draft that, hey, this is the guy that we want. This is the guy we want to be here, and we're going to pay him handsomely because we believe in him. So shout out to Kerby Joseph. I know he's a friend of the network. Just keep shining, brother. Keep shining.
I'm sorry, I'm over here laughing. KG, dog. Why do you got the chat turned up?
Chat on fire,
I gotta read
What
just a
did
few
you
of these.
do now, KG?
Mike G. KG looks like that guy that used to check my ID at Wahoo here in Chicago. Hold on. Xavier D. KG is for the future. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah,
Nitty gritty.
Future showing up tonight, everybody.
KG is a whole A vibe today. Detroit about to show out. Organic
damn
Lindo
right.
KG look like he got some homemade soaps and natural insects to sell us.
I might.
At the Easter Market.
He's selling, he's going big for Detroit.
The
Yeah,
whole
Shad was
soaps got
calling me
me.
Future in the chat too, so sensational. Shout out
And
to
shea
my
butter.
Oh man,
Not gonna lie,
oh,
KG.
man.
I might, if I end up making my way to Movement Fest, I might need to like.
Hey, I'm down, bro.
Movement
Borrow-
Fest. We might have to make that happen.
I was about to say, I know that has been. There's been some chatter about that, but I might need to get some of those sunglasses for a Movement Fest.
I got
Hey,
you, bro.
shout out DJ Choff. DJ Choff, because I know my man's going to be in the building. Used to be over here at Woodward Sports and Lady James, holding it down
Shout
on
out.
socials, but one of the most entertaining and electric DJs. We got some of his music in the system. Hopefully he can hook some stuff up, man.
Hey, I would absolutely love that. And you know what? When we come back, we want to hear from the people. If you guys have any take on Kerby Joseph, if you want to just share your excitement, give us a call at 313-552-6322. Go ahead and pin that in the chat, JB, if you would, please. And also, when we get back, while we wait, while you guys matriculate your way onto the phone line, I'm going to read some of your guys' mock drafts that I got, because there are certainly some interesting ones. And you know what else makes it even more interesting? No two are really the same. They're all unique and all, I would say, plausible. But we'll get to that in just a sec.